Coming up, gun safety is expected to be a big topic at the state capitol tomorrow.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. An interim joint committee will meet in Frankfort tomorrow morning to discuss a bipartisan proposal on gun safety. The Whitney Strong organization says the hearing will be the first of its kind since November of 2019. Among those expected to attend is the widow of Tommy Elliott, who was killed in the Old National Bank shooting in Louisville. Jeremy Toms has a look ahead to a busy day in the Capitol.
8 months have passed since a gunman opened fire in a Louisville bank, killing 5 people, injuring 8 others, and causing many more to call for action.
Their lives have not been easy. It's been a long year for people, but we just have to keep fighting.
That might come Friday, with the Interim Joint Committee on Judiciary hearing a bipartisan proposal for the Crisis Aversion and Rights Retention Act, or CAR.
It allows loved ones to go to law enforcement to intervene in mental health crisis.
Whitney Strong notes that nearly 80% of individuals considering suicide give some sign of their intentions. They say CAR would give a judge the ability to temporarily take a firearm away from a person in crisis, giving it to law enforcement or to a trusted person outside the household. A hearing would then be held to identify important support services for that individual, and the firearm would be returned once the gun owner is no longer in crisis. Tommy Elliott was one of those 5 victims back in April, and his friends told us last month he'd be pushing for these types of reform.
If he were alive, he would be fighting and caring for those who survived.
So on Friday, his wife Marianne is expected to be among those doing so in his honor. Jeremy Toms, WKYT.
The discussion on guns is part of several items coming up before the Legislative Judicial Committee tomorrow. The agenda includes a discussion of Kentucky's violent offender statute, and U.S. Senator Rand Paul is on the agenda for that part of the meeting. Kentucky's incoming Attorney General supports group violence intervention. It's a crime prevention strategy that focuses on community connections and specific groups at risk of violence. Attorney General-elect Russell Coleman brought up the strategy in talks with Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg.
Prior to this administration, it was a internal bureaucratic intransigence. There was a refusal of the prior administration to have their administration row in a way to make GVI work.
Critics say this could lead to over-policing in minority communities. Coleman is replacing current Attorney General Daniel Cameron. The Kentucky State Supreme Court dismissed a redistricting lawsuit today. The case involved congressional and state House maps Republicans drew up last year. Democrats accused them of gerrymandering districts. A judge initially ruled the maps were gerrymandered but were not unconstitutional. The state's high court agreed today, ruling the maps did not violate the Kentucky Constitution. Highway 15 in Breathitt County was shut down for several hours tonight due to a crash. Jackson police say it reopened near the Cragen stretch around 10 o'clock. Now, we've reached out to state police for more information about the crash, but so far we do not have any other details. One person is dead after a car crash in Perry County. It happened last night off Lost Creek Road. Once deputies and first responders arrived, they discovered 46-year-old Samantha Gayhart of Lost Creek had been thrown from the vehicle after it had overturned. The Perry County Coroner's Office pronounced Gayhart dead at the scene. Her visitation and funeral will be held Saturday at Blair Memorial Baptist Church.
We are tracking some more dry and cold weather across the mountains as we go into tonight. Some of us already below freezing. Let's take a look at those temperatures. And as you can see, some areas in the 20s at this hour, down to 27 for Jonesville, 29 for Middlesboro, and 29 also for Manchester. So we are cold as we go into this evening, so the heater gets to work out as we go overnight. Up on first alert, pinpoint Doppler. Once again, a clean sweep continues as we close out your Thursday, all thanks to this strong area of high pressure, and that will continue to stay put. On Friday, some more dry, also sunny weather is on the way as we close out the work week. But as we go into tonight, some cold weather is on tap. Low temperatures back in the upper 20s and lower 30s. So once again, some more frosty conditions are on the way as you wake up and walk out the door on Friday. But a fantastic into the work week is on tap. If you like the weather on Thursday, you will love the weather tomorrow. Some more dry, also sunny weather is on tap, and temperatures back in the middle to upper 50s. And be sure to enjoy the sunshine because we are tracking some rain chances by Sunday, also Monday. Those details coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Cameron, thank you. Kentucky community action agencies are offering a program to help people keep the heat on this winter. The Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, or LIHEAP, can provide the financial aid for folks struggling to pay their heating bills. LKLP Executive Director Ricky Baker says agencies can tell folks if they have a qualifying income.
The income was 110% of the federal poverty level, and now it's up to 130%, so the income level is quite higher. So if you think that you may have not qualified in the past, I urge you to at least call your county office, and they can tell you instantly by the number of household members.
Enrollment for the crisis period begins on January 9th. Baker says you can call and schedule an appointment ahead of time. He also says you can apply through March 31st or until funding runs out. Today, during Governor Andy Beshear's Team Kentucky briefing, he gave an update on disaster relief efforts in eastern and western Kentucky. In the western part of the state, relief money is funding 300 new homes after devastating tornadoes 2 years ago. 155 of those homes are complete, under construction, or approved for construction across 9 counties. Here in eastern Kentucky, relief money is paying for 7 high-ground communities.
They'll house at least 500 families, though when you look at capacity, I believe many, many more. Those are going to be funded in part with the Team Eastern Kentucky Flood Relief Fund, which has provided over $3.6 million.
And Governor Beshear says so far 14 homes have been built or replaced in Breathitt, Martin, Owsley, Knott, Perry, and Letcher counties, and there are many more to come. Local YouTube weather watcher Ryan Hall is working with his nonprofit organization to get gifts to families in need. The Y'all Squad received thousands of dollars in donations from its supporters to respond to the tornadoes that swept through Tennessee last weekend. Members say the support of viewers sent thousands of toys and necessities to one of the community's hardest hit, and they are happy to have the support to keep their nonprofit going.
It really did open up a spot for us to start the Y'all Squad and really start pushing that we could be there with no red tape. We are on the ground the next day because we have storm chasers that are working in the field. We can see exactly what's happening in real time.
You can find out more about Hall and his nonprofit on our website. Partnership Housing, Inc. and the Owsley County Food Bank hosted its Senior Commodity Distribution Giveaway today. Vista Community Engagement Coordinator Jackie Charles says the need for food is high within the county. Charles says they're able to help hundreds of elderly people every month in the county get food.
This is one of 3 different food programs that we work out of our building. The commodity food program is for ages 60 and older. They have to sign up with us and be under the HUD guidelines of income. And we feed approximately 300 people a month or 180 families, depending on their housing situation.
Charles says their work could not be done without the help from volunteers in the area, as well as the grants they receive to be able to help as many folks as possible. A nice present for holiday travelers. Gas prices are dropping. They've already dropped below $3 a gallon in dozens of states. According to AAA, the national average sits at about $3.10 per gallon. That's down a quarter from last month's average. Here in Kentucky, prices are even better. Drivers are paying on average $2.76 per gallon. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, the latest on Israel's war timeline, with a transition to a new phase expected within weeks.
Plus, enjoy the quiet weather because rain chances are on the way by Sunday. Timing out those showers after this break.